All right, team, what do we need in our kit bag? Now, what we need, we just need some basics. It's really important to have a few different things. One, it makes it a bit more exciting, but it allows us to focus on certain areas so we can get stronger. Maybe it's in the kick, maybe it's in the pull. For the kick, you can get any type of kickboard. All right, generally the bigger, the more buoyancy, the easier it's going to be. If you're a good kicker, you might reduce that size and have a smaller kickboard to make it a little bit harder. But there's no real major differences between the boards. It doesn't matter too much, all right? As long as you're getting something that gives you a bit more flotation, allows you to stay on top of the water, all right, so you can breathe and then focus on that kick. The next thing you're going to want to get is a pull buoy. Now, the pull buoy itself gives us more buoyancy at the bottom where your legs are, so it helps you float up. When we do pull, we do not use our legs, we're just using our arms. And what we generally do is we're looking for a pull buoy which is going to give you enough buoyancy. There's heaps of different pull buoys. You've got this one which looks even on both sides. Okay, that's not a bad adult one. Then we also have maybe a smaller one, slightly smaller, and that's going to be better for, say, 12 and unders. 13 and over is good for an adult-sized pull buoy. And what you'll find is there'll be a few pull buoys that also look like this, where they're bigger at one end and smaller at the other. Now, a couple of things. If you wear it this way, it gives you more buoyancy, and if you want to be either a junior or you want less buoyancy, you can turn it the other way. All right, so that's a good multi-purpose type of pull buoy. You're going to need a mesh bag to put all this in. So something like this one here. All right. It's just got some holes, it gives you ventilation, it's got a cord, it's easy to pull from the car to the training pool, it's easy to store. So something like a mesh bag will be perfect to store it all in. When we're doing pull, we generally will use paddles. There's a couple of different types of paddles. There's technique paddles, there's also power paddles, or what I call basic paddles. If you're a beginner, all you need, and don't get worried about what the internet tells you, all you need is a flat basic paddle. You don't need to worry about technique paddles yet. I'll tell you why later. A flat paddle will look something like this. Okay, it's just a flat paddle. And what it does is it's creating the surface area so you're pushing more water. So it's kind of like the gym, you're increasing resistance in the water so you're getting stronger. And generally how we look at it is you look at the paddle, all right, and how you size it up. And if you're newer to swimming in the pool, you want to go smaller, and the more advanced and the more experience you've had with paddles, you might go bigger. But a really good rule of thumb is if you're putting it up on your hands, you want it about 0.5 of a millimeter all the way around. All right, not much bigger than that. You can go smaller, but as you can see, I'm creating more surface area here which I'm pulling. All right, but we don't want it too big. Too big can cause us some injuries. All right, so we want to stay away from that, especially when we're new to it. The other piece, which I find absolutely fantastic, especially for technique and drills, are our fins. Now, personally, I believe you need a long fin for technique. This makes your swim easier, and that's really important when you're doing drills to try and improve your stroke. So if you're a beginner, definitely go with one of the longer rubber fins. All right. If you're a bit more advanced and maybe you're a competitive swimmer, you might be looking for something more like a power fin. So a little bit shorter. All right. You can create more power faster, but they also are a lot more taxing. Remember, when we swim, we use our biggest muscle groups in our legs, and that takes up a lot of oxygen. So, you know, the harder it is to kick, the more tired you're going to get. So if you want to make it easier for drills, stick with that long fin. All right. And if you're probably using some more fitness types of sets, power fin's great. But for the majority of beginners, it's going to be the long fin. One of the pieces that is probably now essential for a lot of people, especially, you know, your competitive swimmers, is our front snorkel. The front snorkel sits at the front. It does a number of things for us. What it does specifically is allows you to keep your head still. When we use a snorkel, it will also help decrease injury rates. A lot of us have problems with where our head is positioned, all right? And when we breathe, we drop our shoulders or we drop our elbows. Keeping the head still while we're swimming, especially long distance sets, is going to reduce that fatigue all right, through the muscles. You're going to make you're going to have less injuries. Other thing it's great for is it's great for drills. You keep your head still, you don't have to worry about your breathing. So if you're starting out, it's probably an essential piece of your kit these days. Lastly, if you're a little bit more advanced and you want some sort of technique paddles, reach out to us. We can definitely tell you, what's going to work for you, but more importantly, what's not going to work for you. One of my favorites, but only when it's used in the right way. This one here is fantastic. It's strapless, absolutely love it. And it's designed so when you enter the water, you create pressure, you catch that water, which is fantastic, and you hold on to it. And if it falls away, you know you're not catching water. One of the mistakes is, and what I see just about all the time when it's not driven by a coach, is people enter the water and they put their hand up. And that's what you don't want to do in swimming. All right, so it's really important, first of all, stick to the basics for your kit. And if you want to go more advanced with maybe a technique paddle, ask your coach, see what they say, or come into the store and we'll sort you out.